so be sure to continue watching this video because we get into more important information about the stimulus payments. Like this: if you receive a letter from the IRS, don't ignore it. According to CNBC, you could be one of 9 million people who the tax agency says can still claim thousands of dollars in stimulus and the child tax credit payments. You have to act quick. The IRS said it began mailing letters in October to reach millions of people who haven't claimed benefits like the stimulus checks, earned income tax credit, and the child tax credit. And according to the agency, people who are eligible only have until November 17th to claim the money. During the massive stimulus effort to help keep households afloat and financially afloat during the crisis, the IRS relied on tax returns, everybody, to determine eligibility as well as where to send the payments, as tax returns include bank account information or home address for mailing the checks. But about 9 million Americans have yet to claim the stimulus funds because they just didn't know and file a 2021 tax return. The letters will let people know that they may be eligible and how to claim the money. The IRS said the 9 million people who were identified by the Treasury's Office of Tax Analysis are those who are not required to file taxes because they have very low incomes. Single taxpayers under 65 years of old typically don't have to file a tax return if they earn less than $12,000 a year, so while that goes up to $14,000 for some people. The 2021 Recovery Rebate Credit is the official name of the third round of payments authorized by lawmakers, and is provided up to $1,400 per person, including qualifying children claimed on a tax return. Let's not forget that means a family of 4 could qualify for up to $5,600 in stimulus money. Under the law, the full amount is available to single taxpayers who earn less than $75,000 and married couples who earn less than $150,000. Payments are gradually phased out for people who earn above those thresholds. In this year's hot pace of job creation may have slowed slightly in October, but unemployment is expected to remain very low as companies continue to deal with worker shortages. According to Dow Jones, economists expect about 205,000 jobs, everybody, that were added in October, and forecasting unemployment rate stayed at 3.5%. That compares to job growth of 263,000 in September. Wage growth was expected to have cooled slightly, with average hour wages gaining 0.3% in the month, or 4.7% over a year ago, down from 5% annual pace in September. So for the Federal Reserve, let's talk about this. Economists say the type of job growth that's expected in October is not going to sway the central bank from its aggressive rate hiking path. Jerome Powell said Wednesday that the Fed could reduce the size of its interest rate hikes, but it may need to raise rates to an even higher than expected level just to stop inflation. Economists expect that rate hikes will eventually slow the economy enough to crimp the job market up. So one economist told CNBC that will have a noticeable effect. He's also mentioned some actions taken right now and others he's considering to fight inflation, but Biden has previously said that there is not much more he's able to do that will have a noticeable effect. The White House has been trying for months to demonstrate its commitment to dampening inflation and bringing down soaring prices that are placing stress on American families. So combined with a dropping stock market and intense warnings from high-powered CEOs, the economy has become the White House's top political problem and priority. But the president's spokesperson argues that Americans will be able to weather the economic storm thanks to the actions that Biden took in office. And now the Minnesota's frontline workers are able to pay and apply for their share of $500 million in hero pay. Employees, however, must take certain steps to comply with notification requirements. The Minnesota governor signed the Frontline Worker Pay Law, authorizing state-funded bonus and payments to various frontline workers, including assisted living employees. Employers must post a notice about the program at each work site and provide papers on how to get it, and provide papers on how to receive the check. One possibility for people to get stimulus checks, but it's going to be done like this. For instance, people believe that the legislation passed in the Democratic-led House of Representatives in the last Congress would extend this child tax credit for another year, just one more year with another spending program under $1 trillion. But critics like Joe Manchin objected to short-term programs in a 10-year bill, such as the enhanced child tax credit that could become permanent and more costly. Manchin also reportedly has proposed adding work requirements for the children's tax credit. The child tax credit was originally aimed at working parents paying over $2,000 in taxes yearly, but was greatly expanded during this crisis. And before the 2021 expansion, people working on the lowest income jobs were just not eligible for this money. This expansion made the credit available to parents with working lower income jobs or not even working. For instance, Mike Lee and Marco Rubio said they support more money going to families of parents who are working, but for those who are not, well, they're not going to get the money because you don't deserve it, they said. Well, I'm not sure about what that says. I'm not sure what that means because President Biden definitely said that he would send out more stimulus payments. Am I right or am I wrong? First of all, New Jersey State Assembly has approved a revised version of the state child tax credit, fixing an error in the legislation that will have delayed payments for 2 years. The bill passed the program and the governor signed into law, providing a refundable credit of up to $500 a year for people under the age of 6. And this program was a response by Democrats to soaring costs of living, but a drafting error in the final bill meant that the credit could not even be claimed until the 2023 tax year, and families will not even get the benefit until 2024. Fortunately, the problem has not even been solved. And Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, for instance, is talking about this. It's another state that has taken matters into its own hands, and Congress failing to extend the child tax credits. Well, the governor of Vermont is signing off on a $1,000 child tax credit for every child 5 and under. Just the households earning $125,000 or less. Families who claim the credit would actually lose $20,000 for every $1,000 over the $125,000 that they earn.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to talk about the Republican decision to cut the funding from the Internal Revenue Service. This funding was part of President Biden's critical Inflation Reduction Act. The $80 billion for the IRS enforcement would have forced tax-cheating corporations, and wealthy Americans to finally pay their fair share. Instead, Republicans chose to rescind $72 billion of that money and force a 2% cut to the agency funding in the last spending package. The IRS support would have collected billions in taxes, boosted our economy, and lowered the nation's debt ceiling. Issues that the Republicans claim are important. Instead, this vote shows Republicans.
Folks, what are your thoughts on President Biden and the fourth stimulus check? Is President Biden going to do all that it takes to help out the American people with this, or do you believe that he's holding it back? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Personally, everybody, I believe that President Biden can definitely do more for the American people and send out stimulus checks sooner than later. It needs to be done. More relief cash is coming. The deadline is quickly approaching for millions of Americans to take action and claim a new direct payment. In this video, I will be sharing with you the exact dates and details of this new round of stimulus checks. Now, some homeowners could also get financial help this month, and this could come from the Homeowner Assistance Fund. The American Rescue Plan set aside almost $10 billion for homeowner relief, and more than 40 states have now set up homeowner assistance programs to facilitate the distribution of funds. The funds will be distributed to the states by the Treasury Department, and money from this program could be used to help with mortgage payments, homeowner insurance costs, and other specified purposes. Between these state programs and homeowner assistance funds, millions could soon be entitled to money from the government to help them cope with the ongoing financial